learned leader of the opposition and himself as a lawyer, he has put it so correctly. I would say that the Indian ethos is on family building, not family breaking. I have witnessed many marriages solemnized among the Hindus round the fire. And I never understood what the shlokas being read by the Pandit or what was the meaning of it, and why in some chakkar the boy goes ahead and in some other the girl leads the boy. Till my friend's daughter got married at my residence, and I asked the learned Panditji to explain it to us. What is the meaning of it? Why the boy is going first and then the girl is going first, and what are you saying to them? And then he explained everything to me, and I realized that the marriage vows which the boy and the girl takes that time, it is for the life. It is the commitment they make to each other as regards to what they will conduct would be, what will be they doing after marriage, what is the responsibility of the boy when he says that when I go to the house I'll take your permission, when he says that all my income I will bring it and give it to you, etc. And the girl also makes commitment to that extent that what is her duty. Marriage is a sacrament among the Hindu marriage, and among the Hindus and the Christians also. And that is why the thought of divorce was unthinkable. They could never think of divorcing each other. And the mothers, when the girl was going at the marriage, would say कि बेटी तुम्हारी यहाँ से डोली निकल रही है, अब ससुराल से तुम्हारी अर्थी निकली. Now the situation is changed very rightly. The girls have become independent. They are stepping out of the house. They are working in the institutions or jobs and offices. They want certain dignity. They want certain respect, certain independence also. So naturally there are differences among the family. But sir, it is easy. Among the Muslims, you know it very well. The marriage is not a sacrament. It's a contract. Two people make a contract of living together, solemnized by a qazi or a priest. That is why the marriage is more simpler. Both the parties can put whatever condition they want in their marriage contract. Unfortunately, they don't put any conditions in their contracts, which they can rightly do it. And when the marriage breaks, they can go break it according to those conditions which have been put in the marriage contract. The reasons of divorce which you have given under the Hindu Marriage Act of 1955 and Special Marriage Act of 1954 are the same, and not many people know that it is not the man who says talaq, 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 and the girl goes home, the wife goes home, but a wife also among the Muslim can divorce the husband, and the conditions which have been given by you in those two marriage acts which are prevailing in our country, a Muslim woman can also ask under the provision of khula, and she can apply to the qazi, and the qazi will give the divorce. Unfortunately, the women never do it, and they are always the sufferer. That is the reason why the impression in the society in India is that only men can say talaq, talaq, talaq. And that also, the talaq, talaq, talaq cannot be in one sitting. It has to be spread over 3 months and 10 days, so that there is a reconciliation period where they can come together and people can advise them. Now sir, as for the important provision in the bill which you have brought before us, the bill deletes the requirement allowing one party the marriage to present the petition, and the cooling period of 6 months is being removed. Sir, I feel the cooling period, and also the standing committee's recommendation also talks about the 6 months cooling period, because during that period both the parties reconciliation can take place and they can come together, and if they don't come together in those 6 months, then naturally the divorce can be given. But sir, there is giving the right only to the one party. I think it is very dangerous. As Arun Jaitley ji also said, because one person can go to the court and get the divorce if the other person doesn't come and doesn't get the chance to appear before the courts and put their cases. And it will be a default. So the bill's major 3 points are there. The bill adds a provision to both acts that allows both parties to file for divorce on the grounds of irretrievable breakdown of marriage. Both the parties to live apart for at least 3 years before filing for such a petition. So this can also be misused. I'm giving you the caution. In today's time, men are coming out of the villages. They are living in metropolitan cities for work. From Bihar, from UP, from other villages, they come to work in the city. They don't go back home for 3 years. Can this be used as a reason for a divorce because they live 3 years away? The husband can go and file a petition in the court and get the permission ex parte that I was living 3 years away from my wife. People are going to the Gulf countries. People are going to America and Europe for job. So one has to be, the court will have to be careful. But I think instead of that, some provision should be made in the bill itself so that it cannot be misused by the people. That's 3 year separation period. So the third point, the wife has a right to oppose the grant of a divorce on the ground that the resolution shall result in grave financial hardship. The court shall consider all circumstances, including conduct of the parties, children, before deciding whether a divorce would result in hardship. Also, court has to be satisfied that adequate financial provision has been made for any children, including unmarried or widowed daughters. Said, Arunji has very rightly said, our society is very different. Our ethos is very different than the Western society. In Western society, when a girl and a boy, first of all, they go out of the house. There is no concept of joint family. As soon as the boy and the girl are grown up, they go and live outside the house. And definitely they make their own home when they get married. That is the reason why in foreign countries they have Mother's Day, Father's Day, Grandmother's Day, Grandfather's Day, because they don't live together. So they come once in a year with chocolates, with flowers, with cake, and celebrate the Mother's Day and the Father's Day and the Grandmother's Day and the Grandfather's Day. Here in our country, there is a joint family system. There is a way in which if the marriages are in difficulty, the grandparents or the in-laws, they try to create a reconciliation and try to help them. First of all, sir, you can look at the language, which is the English language, which translates the mother-in-law. Kanun ki maa. Daughter-in-law is called Kanun ki beti. Father-in-law, Kanun ka baap. हमारी सोसाइटी में बहू को बेटी माना जाता है, दामाद को बेटा माना जाता है, सास को माँ माना जाता है. ये कंसेप्ट वेस्ट में नहीं है. तो जैसे अरुण जी ने कहा कि वेस्ट के सिस्टम को हम ऐसे ही का ऐसा हमारे यहाँ अडॉप्ट कर लेंगे तो वो चलेगा नहीं सर, उसका मिसयूज डेफिनेटली होगा. जहाँ तक सर पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी की रिकमेंडेशन है, ये इर्रिट्रीवेबल ब्रेकडाउन ऑफ मैरिज को थोड़ा आपको कोडिफाई करना चाहिए. What are the clauses which will come under irretrievable breakdown of marriage? It should not become an irritable breakdown. So that is the danger, that it should become an irritable breakdown of marriage for the girls, for the women, for the wife.